13th. Amanda?
Well, Erica, some love the actual game, some love the halftime show, others love the commercials. And one commercial in the Boston area is trending this morning for its late night update. Take a look.
Tom?
Hi.
Welcome to Shields MRI. Would you please remove all jewelry and place it in the locker?
Oh, yeah. Sure, no problem.
Tom Brady trusts Shields MRI. You can too.
Is that all?
Actually, no. I forgot this one. It's kind of new.
We're going to need to get you a bigger locker.
Roger that.
Shields Healthcare. Go where the pros go.
Well, the Shields Healthcare Group ran a slightly different version of the commercial all season with Brady and his 4 rings. After the big win last night, the medical company posted an updated version of the ad with Brady's 5 rings. And if you heard it right there, a subtle diss at Commissioner Roger Goodell over the whole Deflategate drama. Well, we continue to talk about the commercials this morning, some of the best, some of the worst. There is so much pressure when it comes to the Super Bowl ads and which ones actually deliver. Steve Wolfberg, Principal and Chief Creative and Growth Officer at Cronin, joins us. Thank you so much for joining us.
Great to be here. I just changed my vote. That was the best spot.
You like that?
That was awesome. Taking it of the moment and just making it real and the dig at Goodell. All right, I changed the whole package. That's my favorite one.
Change it.
Start the interview over. That was a great spot.
All right. Well, we do have to get to some other ones, you know, that everybody in the nation saw. Talk to me a little bit about what you thought overall about the commercials and I guess the messages that they really drove home.
Well, generally, you can't be surprised when the president is still talking about votes he did or didn't get 3 months ago that there would be political ads in the Super Bowl. But this time the ads were not for politicians as much for brands. And 100 million people were watching them. So the brands really went out there and made a statement. Some liked them, some didn't. But again, subjects like immigration and diversity, gender equity, rather than beer and chips. Very different for this year's Super Bowl and quite the trend.
Let's talk about some of your favorites of the night. Which ones did you really think delivered and hit it out of the park? I
thought the Hyundai spot was great. A lot of people may have missed it because it actually aired after the game. And it used footage of the game. Basically somewhere in an undisclosed location where there are some military folks. They showed the game, and then a couple of the folks were pulled into a special area where they were actually with 360 virtual reality placed at the game with their family members as if they were in a suite at the game. So what I love about this spot is it's the past of advertising, the classic heart-wrenching story, plus the future of advertising, which is VR, immersive, virtual reality 360. So to me, great spot. A lot of people probably missed it because they were exhausted because it came actually after the game. But I just thought from the present, past, and future of advertising, probably this spot of the game.
Yeah, it was a really good one, and a really touching one too, because it really had all those feelings in it when those soldiers were able to see their family members.
What you see now, so you see that they're actually, as if they're at the game, they turn around, they're in a virtual reality, and now they're with their family members. So it's just fantastic. So really well done. What advertising really can and should be.
What about 84 Lumber?
That's quite a story. If the spot had aired the way it was supposed to, as originally cut, I think it may have been the best of the night and maybe a classic. But it was deemed too controversial because of basically what happens, well, it has to do with the wall, the border wall. And I will encourage everybody to go to the 84 Lumber website to watch the spot in its entirety. Fantastic spot, beautifully shot, very gutsy, not a word of English. The supers at the end are in English, but there's no English. Pulls you along. So the spot that aired was kind of confusing.
A little bit.
It drove you to a website that actually crashed. So many people went to it, so that's a little bit of a problem. But if you can watch the entire short film, very powerful. Nobody talked about 84 Lumber a month ago. Everybody's talking about 84 Lumber right now. I think they spent maybe $800,000 in media 2 years ago. Just last night, they spent over $15 million. The question will be, is it worth it? But we're all talking about 84 Lumber today, so it might be worth it for that brand.
Another one that probably had the comedy piece with it was the Buy commercial.
Yeah, bye. I mean, how do you go wrong? You get Christopher Walken, who was just so riveting, the creepiest, best spokesperson ever, basically giving the lyrics to the song Bye 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 from Justin Timberlake.
Insane,
and then obviously, so it's brand reinforcement. It's a way to sing the name of the product. If you can do that, that's pretty good. You know, from a lighter standpoint, I enjoyed this spot a lot.
Nice. Let's go to Honda Power of Dreams ad as well. That was another one of your top.
Yeah, great technique. I mean, obviously taking yearbook pictures of actual people, Tina Fey, Steve Carell, who you'll see in a moment, who actually actually was wearing, actually Robert Redford, but Steve Carell was actually wearing my mustache from 1987.
Oh, nice.
So yes, I want it back. But anyway, great technique, the power of dreams, a little bit of a disconnect with the Honda car at the end of it. They went a long way to kind of tie it into the CR-V. Okay, but there's my mustache. But a fun spot, and one of the better ones of the night, I thought.
Yeah, something memorable.
Yeah.
Let's go to the opposite end. Let's go to the ones that really didn't deliver.
Okay. Well, in my opinion, I thought the biggest fumble of the night may have been for Snickers. That was a big deal. That was about Steve's bottom three. First of all, advertising is tough, so I wouldn't want anybody to say that my ads are in the bottom three. So I apologize, but you asked, so I hated bottom three. Anyway, I thought this was a bit of a fumble because did anybody really know that this spot was live? That was the whole idea of it. He kind of gives the halftime score when he comes out of the saloon or whatever, but do you really know it? It could have been dubbed in later. So they made a big deal out of going live. Good for you, Snickers, for trying. You know, I thought basically the Hyundai version, which was almost live, was a better use of trying to do something in the Super Bowl. I didn't think that the spot was funny, but for the live part of it, maybe a miss.
Okay. What about T-Mobile? A lot of different spots for
T-Mobile. I think had 3 or 4 spots. Maybe that would mean a total of $20 million, all talking about the fact that they don't have overage charges. You know, from what I was just reading online and how many people didn't really like these spots, I think they may have to go back to doing overage charges because they spent a lot of money for spots that didn't get really, really well accepted out there. You know, you got Snoop Dogg and Martha Stewart. I think the Justin Timberlake, Christopher Walken odd couple was much more interesting. These spots, you know, some S&M kind of stuff going on, 50 Shades of Grey.
Yeah.
Not for me.
Not for you. Okay.
Didn't think so.
And we've got about 30 seconds left. Last one, King's Hawaiian. And this one was interesting because I did not put 2 and 2 together, but you tell us what you
unfortunately, I live this business, and I could probably spout every single advertisement on the Super Bowl for the last 20 years, sadly. This is very reminiscent of a spot that Budweiser did a number of years ago called Magic Fridge, where people put the beer in the fridge turns around, and people on the other apartment take the beer.
Right.
So for me, from a purist standpoint, I thought it was a little too reminiscent, but good for Kings Hawaiian. They're on the Super Bowl. Hopefully it helps their product. Maybe their ad team needs to do a little more historical research before they do a spot.
All right. Well, thanks for breaking them down for us. We really appreciate it. And they're always fun to watch. You can obviously watch them online and go back and play them over and over again.
Over and over and over again.
All right. Thanks so much. Coming up next for you here on Good Day Connecticut, we are talking about Valentine's Day. It is about a week away. And if you're looking for love, you don't want to fall victim to a scam. Howard Schwartz